Yes, hello. We have just now come on. Hello, everybody. It's nice to see
Hey,
you all again. Today we have Alex here with us. Hello, Alex.
yo, hi.
Hello. And Alex is going to be doing some art critiques for us today. So we we asked you guys that if you wanted a critique, then you can submit it in the Discord and we would take a look at it today. And here we are. So thank you for all the submissions. If we don't quite get around to yours today, then don't worry. There's always next time. We'll be doing this again. So don't worry about it. Um, Hello, everybody in chat. I see a bunch of highs. Um, but yeah, I mean, I think it's better if we just not waste any time and just jump straight into it. So, Alex, who have we got up first?
All right, so we have R2G.
Hmm. Yeah. So I've written a little a little bit about what R2G said um, when they submitted it. I see you've got a copy there as well, but I will just give a brief overview for everybody else. So the character in this illustration is Aladdin. I'm sure we all know Aladdin. They've just beat the big bad guy. The trail coming out of the ring is a spirit that was helping him. It's now going back into his grave, which is apparently the huge grave in the background of that image. Um, they wanted to show an emotional atmosphere to the illustration where the character is vulnerable and injured from battle. They'd like to know if there's any mistakes that they've done that could be fixed to help the composition or such, or any ideas that could push the piece further.
Okay, sure thing.
Hmm.
First of all, I really like this. It's a really nice illustration.
Hmm.
The skill is quite advanced, so I'd be pretty harsh with you. So you make like just so you learn something.
Hmm.
Um, I'm just joking, but I try to help like really as much as I can
Yeah.
and point out as much as I can. Um, yeah, it's a nice idea. I think I wasn't getting it at like I wasn't getting it at like at first when I saw it. First I saw the picture, then I read the description.
Hmm.
But after some time, I mean, after I read the description, it made sense. But that's the thing, if it's an illustration, like maybe I should have played the game or should know the character a little bit more, or like I don't know that it's a grave. It's not clearly visible, or I'm not really familiar with the culture. Like it looks a little bit like Middle East.
Hmm.
Do they have graves like that? I would do a little bit of a research there.
Yeah.
And ah, cool. Am I quiet or
I
something?
think I think you're okay. I've turned you up. I've turned you up a little bit, so we should
All
be
right,
we should be
bump it
fine.
up. Cool. Um, so yeah, I mean, that's just, I might be wrong here. All right, I did some paint over. So the first one is, and this is something that goes over, like I see on a lot of illustration, like when I squint my eyes or take a look at it in a thumbnail, I just really, when I squint my eyes, I just see black and white.
Yeah.
And that doesn't make an illustration work. Like everything in between, like all the other tonal values, I'm missing at least the midtone. Like where's the midtone? I mean, the fun thing is there's a midtone. So I did something um, to push it here. It kind of blends the colors a little bit, but I'm just like corrected the values, and it reads more now. It has more of an atmosphere because I pushed the midtones more. So we still have the darks who are a little bit darker, and the whites who are a little bit brighter, and the variety of the midtones. Let's not focus on the colors, because what really makes an illustration read is the composition of your tonal values. It's really not about the color, and you need to think about that first establish this first. Looks like you did, so maybe it was just some color adjustment, but it's better if you can do that in a thumbnail quick without color adjustments, obviously, if you really master this. Did I do something else? Yeah, then I painted a little bit more in there. Didn't had much time, but a few things I did where I think it might have helped are the following. So, balance your piece out a little bit more. So you have, like, think about it a little bit. Like, I see now this is supposed to be some parts of, could be some parts of the leaves on the left, but they don't have the same structure. So that's why I'm not believing it, that these could be some kind of leaves who have like really hard edges. What I don't like is like you have this curve and then you have another curve. For example, I'm not really a fan of the stuff in the foreground, which looks a little bit randomly placed. Randomly placed, or I'd say too even, like tangents. You know, it's all like those little details right now. I mean, this is a really good illustration, but it's the details that matter. Like we have that unnecessary little pixel left for whatever reason. Like either you cut the whole tile out to have some room, or you park it in. Did I do that? Okay, yeah. I didn't figure out the foreground, but I thought it might be nice to push the light a little bit over here and maybe symbolize a little bit more that the friendly, holy shit, I'm messing everything up. Sorry. Okay, I want to say that I just pushed the effects here in the back, so it's more prominent that something is happening here, because as it fades and everything is dark, I can't see what's happening in the back, so it just needs a little bit of a graphical punch. Something else, so style-wise, I don't understand why you have some dark outlines at some areas and then you don't have some outlines. I really tried to figure out your logic here. So maybe I thought, okay, in the light that there aren't any like here, but then you have like here also no dark outlines. This doesn't make sense. It doesn't look consistent. Like establish the style, be like make a couple of rules. You can say, okay, in the light I don't have outlines, and then I have some in the shadow, or only the characters, every living object has outlines, or only everything that's in the front, and it can have bigger outlines in the front and smaller in the back. Stuff like that you need to figure out.
So
with the composition talk.
It's not necessarily a problem with having some parts be outlined and some parts not be outlined. It's more of a problem of keeping it consistent and having like your own rules to it.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, there is a code, there's some logic behind it. You need to establish it, and it looks like at some point you forgot about it in the rendering process. Also talking about tangents. Here is one. Unnecessary. Really like how we rendered and the style of this pieces here.
Yeah.
Actually, when I just zoom into this part right here, everything looks really, really interesting. But yeah, did I edit something else? Okay. So nitpicking, right? I really like the style and the attitude. It looks really anime-like. The feel, the style, the rendering, even though this is pixelated, right? But when I look at this here, at this face, the way it's lit and the highlights seem wrong. The rendering is a little bit off. I'd say it's overly saturated everywhere. There needs to be like a couple of areas where it's not that saturated. Style-wise, I mean, it's absolutely, you know, if it's a piece where you want to sell the mood, you might spend time redrawing the face 2 times, like have like option 1, 2, 3, and then choose one if you're really sure, because I'm a little bit surprised that it looks so different.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just me. I mean, here it works so nice. The colors also aren't that saturated, and then I mean, it doesn't look like the same artist. Here, I think maybe you just did a little bit too much. Um, Anything else? Yeah, about this piece. So if this is if you want to present some kind of a character, um, there's a rule like the focal point. You can help with focal points in designs or illustrations where most black and white meet. This is where your eye looks to. And now you want to present a character, but my eye just is absolutely, um, focusing on this part right here. It's really distracting. Um, like like graphic design, like being a graphic designer where you work with big letters and fonts and textures. It's pretty similar to how you construct your composition sketch,
Mhm.
be it a character design or an illustration in the first pass. So I would really take a little bit of time to study that, or actually just never, like now that you know this high contrast rule, I don't think you'll ever do that again, and focus more, like maybe push the contrast here a little bit more, slightly, so we might get stuck on his face a little bit more wherever
Mhm.
you want to have it. Okay. Do you have any questions? Hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah, if you have any questions, R2G, then feel free to drop them in the chat. If you uh, while you're writing or not writing, I will just say that I liked what you added as well on the tombstone, Alex, with the effect where it looked like there was actually something going into or coming out of the tombstone.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
because something that surprised me was I thought when I read the description I was surprised because I thought that the essence of that like spirit or whatever was coming out of the tombstone into the ring, so it kind of helps tell the story a bit better if you put that effect on there. Looks nice.
Okay. But yeah, cool stuff. I really like the style. Would like to see more of your art, and
Yeah.
keep pushing, keep going. Maybe at the end of this talk or somewhere in the middle, I might give some kind of ideas how illustrators can practice and make their
Mhm.
compositions work in the beginning,
Yeah.
and some common things lots of people like repeat if I don't forget about it. But let's just keep going.
Yeah.
Um, right.
We do actually have one
Huh?
quick. We actually have one quick question. Although it could be a bit vague. They said, "I'm wondering how polished should the illustration be at this stage." I mean, it depends. It kind of depends on you, I suppose, as to what stage you feel like the illustration is at, right? Like,
Yeah,
it,
that's a good question. I think polished, this really depends. You have a certain style that's pretty good. Um, maybe, like those little things I mentioned, maybe hit the face better, pump up this one, the contrast, establish some midtones, fix couple of things, and it could be good, could be fine. I mean, this is, like I said, pretty advanced.
yeah,
Not sugarcoating here, so keep on, like, it's like the outline. It's obviously a mistake. It doesn't make sense.
hmm
So I mean, you need to fix a couple of issues here, and then you can call it done. Or
yeah,
like with a tombstone in the back, it just needs to make sense. Like the first time, give it to your friends who don't know anything about the story, and tell them, what do you see here? Do you understand it? And if they do, yeah, man, you succeeded. It doesn't, like, I wouldn't even say that it's a matter of polish. I feel like getting the idea is much more important, and then worry about the polish. I mean,
hmm
you can polish stuff, so
yeah.
it's cool.
Cool. Let's hop onto the next one then, because we do only have limited time.
No, time's going
No.
okay. Hey, so this is Gabriel Nascimento. Yeah, right.
Yes. Yeah. So
Okay.
they said that they've recently been working on splash art projects, and they want to work more on illustrations. They'd like to know how they could improve this piece, and how that might apply to their next projects. Um, their biggest struggle with
Yeah,
this one was making the materials fit into the established mood.
yeah. Okay. So I've checked your portfolio. I've been spying on you on the internet, and I figured you out on ArtStation. And let me say it clearly, you succeeded. And it looks like you've been just focusing on the materials, and that was the main part, which is the. I mean, it's not a compliment, but it's nothing bad either. It looks like that was your mission. Like first thing I see, like I don't like is this crown here with all the detail, and
Mm,
like that part, like, and I'm like, wow, that's shiny.
yeah.
Is that? I mean, if that's what you wanted to tell, okay, you did it. From a classical illustration standpoint, if I might add something, if it could be improved, I have the same issue with the one before. Like all I see when I squint my eyes and here pretty extreme, I see black and white. The only thing that's a little bit in the midtones are like the gates in the background slightly, but and like I see some confetti here and there, and then I see some plants on on like on the walls, and they
Yeah.
mix and they look too similar, and it's pretty confusing. But yeah, man, I mean, look, I just tried some stuff. I don't know if this was even good. Was it? Let's check it out. Ah, okay, good. Auto contrast. Oh, and it right there it is. Okay, I just pushed it back now. I mean, the values like still don't work, but it has a little bit more. It's a little bit more clear. I mean, the colors look like you use some kind of multiplier or something, which is never a good idea, I would say.
Mm,
Better make sure that the colors are established in your thumbnails, in your color paths. Really think about, take your time, even if it takes a day. Take some good references. Try everything you can. Like even if you need to color pick, just make it work. Get inspired, because yeah, this looks like um, splash art that is a little bit stylized, and I don't see like what kind of lighting is that? Like, is this some fake electrical lighting, or is this supposed to be some, let me say, sunset or golden hour lighting, or is there some god reborn behind him, like some super magic effect? I don't know. It looks kind of fake, and
yeah.
it kind of kills the believability of what this face picture might try to do. But then in the end, you wanted to make it shine, and you succeeded. So I don't know, like if you need some more advice on that, maybe I would just push the finger slightly here, like make it more like palm the chair. And what I see in the illustration itself is that everything kind of goes into that direction, which is fine because it's based on logic, right? It needs to be grounded, and but even the head does the same, right? And everything goes into that direction. And you need to counterbalance your stuff, your composition, your characters. You need to create a little bit of tension, action. So just push the head up a little bit more. Like instead of sitting like I am, like push the head up a little
Hmm.
bit more. Like have to raise fists. It gives it a little bit more of an attitude. But that's just my interpretation. It might work. Okay, that's it. Oh yeah, seeing your portfolio. Um, looking back at it, I've seen that you start, man, or like whoever you are, like you got so like you established the colors, you had some nice compositions, the figures were structured, the anatomy was cool, you laid the colors down, you started rendering, and in your last step you use the glowing effects, overlays, and you kill your pieces, if you ask me. And I see this so often, it's just sad. I don't know, just because you might think like it's some kind of standard out there, or you're not confident enough, but I say you have all the foundational skills. Really don't overuse all these effects that kill your values and kill the whole atmosphere of your pieces, unfortunately. Just what I feel. All right. Any questions, or shall we move on?
They've just said got you. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. But yeah, if you have any questions, fire away. If not, then we will move on.
Yeah. I mean, we can still go back to some questions later if we have some time.
Yeah.
I just try. So who do we have?
So this one is Daram Ram, however you pronounce it. But they've said, "Hi, my name is Lyra, and this is the illustration that I drew for a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure zine. The character is Caesar Zeppeli. It was conceived without a background and a light, positive mood. He's casting a heart out of a bubble. Very cute. I suffered the most with his hair, so first of all, I'd like to know how to fix it, and then how to improve the values, composition, and anything else wrong with his face." So
yeah, that's funny. I didn't read everything. I just thought, hey, this looks nice. Some things can be improved, and it reminded me of some JoJo character.
Yeah.
Hey, that's great. So you succeeded. All right, let's take a look at this one.
Yeah, if you're here, sorry, I'll just say quickly, if you're here and you have any questions while we're going along, then feel free to ask them. You don't have to wait until the end. We'll do what we can to get through them as we go. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I really like this this rendering on the face. It's really clean. I really like the edges and the style. That's pretty cool. You mentioned values. That's right. I think I mean, I don't really see real darks here. It's what it's lacking. It looks like some kind of high key painting, but it's not, because there are some darks, and it's a little bit confusing. But I wasn't focusing on that. I don't know what the paint over was. I was doing that yesterday. So let's see what happened. Oh, okay. Yeah, push the contrast a little bit with the auto correction. Face is great. The hair is cool. I mean, it's stylized, but it works. Was more about the composition, like the perspective seems to be off, like something I often see. And I understand if you're pressured by time, but if you want to make a portfolio piece or learn how to draw, always, I mean, you can do your thumbnails, but there is a layout stage after your thumbnail sketches. And in that layout stage, you need to nail down your perspective grid and make sure that it works and that the foreshortening works. Second thing I see, even with some professional artists, and it makes me really sad and angry at some point. I really can't understand it, and I hate it, because sometimes I have to do it myself. Is shooting references for faces and hands. Like, what the heck? We live in a time where everybody has a smartphone, and you can just send your stuff to your computer in a second. Like, make a photograph of your hand. Like, there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
Click. There you have it. Done. Instead of struggling. But I understand also the feeling like you like to, you're in the flow, you're in the state, you started, you're just having fun, right? But for professional work, I'm just saying, hey, make sure that you have some good references. But yeah, it's a charming picture. I like the feel of it, and I'm a JoJo Adventure fan as well, so that's cool. Let's just go to some comments. So try to put a little bit more action here into the gesture. 1, 2, 3 could be like some kind of triangle composition of the bubbles. You need to think about your stuff like graphic designer as well, not just an illustrator who thinks about where does the light come from. You need to really have a good composition for all the elements that you have in your picture. So that's what I try to do here. And the scarf here, yeah. So like if you don't look at it, you should stop looking at it at some point as a human or a figure or a texture or color. You should just really see shapes, just shapes, and think like are the interest. So like you should be able to spot like actually this is a circle, although it's not connected. It's a scarf, and then this is something else, but you see the circle in there. And this is a part of a composition, and I didn't like it. It was too big, and actually the heart needs to be bigger. By the way, I don't think I did it. I absolutely lost it yesterday. It should
You
be a
changed it
heart. There we
completely.
go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, make the heart a little bit bigger. Now it still looks like it's clashing too much in size with the head. I'm not really happy about it, but this is stuff that you should also figure out, like the size in your thumbnails or sketches, latest in your layouts, before you go into colors. But yeah, I mean, hopefully that was helpful.
Yeah.
Other than that, I have nothing to add. Cool stuff.
Yeah. We haven't got any questions or anything. It could be that they're not watching it live, which is fair enough if they couldn't make it. But
Okay, yeah, just one little thing, just in general for whoever, like really be like, do you see all the details you've been rendering here on the scarf? Like you had a blast. You were in the flow state, and then everything else is not so detailed. So that contrast is too high.
yeah,
Just balance it out more.
yeah.
Okay.
Oh, they did. They were here. They said, "I have no questions. I just have a huge thank you. The drawing has gotten so much better. Thank you again for your hard work, Alex."
Yeah, thank you. It was fun.
Yeah. So this next one is QC5, I think is. Yeah. Okay. So he said, "Hello and thank you for the opportunity for this. I'm working on this illustration for a while now and just can't figure out why it looks horrible. Well, I wouldn't say it looks horrible. Horrible's a bit extreme. Based on others' feedback, I've made the background brighter, and although the character kind of pops out, it still feels off. I'd be interested in any feedback that will help me figure out what I should do with the lights on this piece."
Yeah, really like this. I had a little bit of fun and some time. This one, first of all, stuff I've said before, but here it's like super saturated background, super saturated effects, everything is clashing, and guess where the focal point is? Now, we learned about focal points now. Guess where it is? Where's the most dark and light? I mean, we have a few, but I'd be just trying to point it out. So this one right here.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know if it's really necessary, but I mean, obviously, yeah, fire is light, and then you have something in the shadow, but it makes a whole, like, it eats a lot of space, and it's a focal point. Then we have, like, talking just about shapes, all these little sparky flames, all those sharp flames, and then we have all these sharp pieces in the background, and it gets super noisy and busy. So we have high contrast, and it's super noisy, and it kind of drags me away from the second focal point, which is obviously this one here. Yeah, I'm pointing at the boobs. I mean, if that was your intention, okay. But beware of it.
Yeah.
It's like this and that kind of art. But for AAA games, I wouldn't have the focal points on the boobs. And
Mhm.
trust me, I've been there, so I'm just wouldn't do that.
Yeah.
Um, okay. Um, Apart from that, I really like the rendering and the colors. It has a really cool idea. I like the composition. Perspective seems to be working. So I tried something, but I think I got overboard yesterday. Yeah, I got overboard.
They said
So
they just said in the chat, no, the boobs were not my aim.
yeah. The subconsciousness is always playing. If you're painting, it is the way it is. And it's okay. So what did I do here? Yeah, I feel like this. Actually, I just absolutely screwed up your idea because she was getting the fire from some kind of
Yeah,
fireplace.
I was
Or
going
what
to
is it?
say, I
Torch,
think,
right?
yeah, it's like a torch. That was something that took me a while to figure out.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, actually, when I started it, I didn't understand it was a
Mm.
torch. I thought it was a wing of the dragon guarding
Yeah,
him, and I'm so
I
blind.
thought
I don't know
it was
why,
like
right?
a tail coming round
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah,
Yeah.
or a tail. Okay, then we need to fix what I tried to fix. What else do we have here, though? Nothing. Okay, perspectives. Good. What I like desaturated the background a little bit. I felt the dragon felt flat because it needs a little bit of a perspective grid. Once you have this, you can establish form and then place your figures in space a little bit better. Yeah, that's it. I need to get the fire back in there, however. Shit. But I can talk a little bit about the rendering. Yeah, the face, like, so I think you can work, like, you know when to hit sharp edges and soft edges, especially here. You have
Mm-hmm.
the sharp edge and the soft edge, but not on the face. So this looks like weird. Um, Maybe like the hair. Maybe it's just the resolution, but the hair casting onto the skin would be more of a sharp edge. That kind of stuff I would work on a little bit more. Anything else? Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I'm just pissed that I don't have the fire in there. How can we get in the fire? Screw that. But yeah, I'd work with 100% opacity here. Try to treat it more like with like graphic design.
Mm-hmm.
So here just a little bit of dots connecting, and then the flames getting a little bit stronger. It should be flames, so it should have been maybe a little bit more orange.
I think one of our earlier art critique sessions, I can't remember if it was with you or if it was with Yoris. I mean, you probably wouldn't remember anyway. It was a long time ago, but there was a mention of, when you put objects in the foreground to really make sure that they're not just like silhouettes, so you can really tell that what they are. It was a battlefield scene, and there was a guy's helmet in the corner of the composition. I'll have to try and find it after this.
Yeah, it makes sense. That's a really good point. I would just play around here, maybe have a little bit more fires here and there, and just work on the architecture of the castle where she's at, I think, and play around with that. Maybe we could have some fire here and there. work. But apart from that, yeah, I would. I mean, I think I said what came into my mind, except of that fire thing that needs to be solved. Right now, the like her hair is a little bit too much in the way. Maybe I would have it calm instead of floating in the air. That might help. I mean, it could go to the side and curve a little bit around here slightly.
She just sets it on fire when she's pulling the fire past it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
right. Yeah, needs to be figured out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hopefully I was able to help here a little bit at least. Yeah, that's it from me. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, Daniel, I see you're in the chat, so if you have any questions, fire away. I see Melissa is upset that you removed all the rendering from his dragon.
Well, Melissa sure knows how to render dragons, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, the next ones.
Yeah. So this next one is TiZion. He said, "Hello, I'm currently working on a series of character designs, and this is one of them. In short, I would describe this character as a corrupted robot. I like the design in general, but I feel like there's a lot of room for improvement. The body and materials are not well defined. The accent zones are a bit uncertain. I can see it, but I'm not really sure how to fix it. I'd really appreciate it if you could help me here."
Yeah, I don't know how to fix it either, to be honest. I mean, it takes time to come up with characters and lots of iterations, many ideas, days, and one day you wake up and then you have it, like, and you know how to do it. So it takes time, but I mean, it's a little bit hard for me to figure out where is it going. Like when I mean, I can just tell you what I see right now. Honestly, I see a cute little vampire pig.
Oh yeah, I see it.
Do you see that little vampire pig?
Yeah.
I mean, just
Yeah.
if you like, I was looking at some vampires, bats, right? I mean, they have this nose right there, and if that's what you wanted to do on purpose, you did it. But if not, I don't know if that works. And then I don't know what kind of style it is. Like when I look at this style right now, I feel like pixel art and Metal Slug, which is a great game. I mean, if you want to do something like that, it's fine. It works. If I think something that goes more towards Overwatch, League of Legends, I think it needs to be refined. Then I would have a couple of issues like the blades. They look like ancient magic blades. They don't look like technology to me. Those green stuff, I mean, it doesn't look like liquid. It looks like worms crawling out of it. So corrupted by parasites. Okay, if that was the idea, good, works. The tentacles look like really basic. They have no design. I'm just saying, like, if you want to go towards Overwatch, League of Legends, they have no design. This is not something new. I've seen cartoon characters who have, braids, hairs like that.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure, like it looks like there's fantasy and tech stuff merged with each other, and then the corruption and yeah, but too much stuff going on. Personally, like this starting point. Although those many eyes, rivets, they are a little bit confusing. Like I said, black and white, most contrast. It's your focal point. You have lots of focal points, and you need to have a hierarchy of big shapes, medium shapes, small shapes, and how they play with each other, interact. Personally, like if I would have to do a corrupted robot, I would first of all get that kind of stuff, references, take like take some time to gather some reference, take a look at the rivets, can get inspired by the colors, It's Metal Gear Solid 4 tentacles. They have, I mean, at least they're not round.
Yeah.
I'm sure somewhere where when you search, you find the logo of Tokugawa Corporations. Maybe, like, or however that was called. But that's concept art. Somebody created the world. They made up a couple of logos, placed them on it, and give the whole thing more of a corporate feel.
Yeah.
That's it. It's all about in the research here. And so yeah, if you want to come up like with something really new and fresh and advanced, then look for what's trending right now in the military and the war business. Yeah, and get inspired.
Yeah.
Another thing is 1, 2. Okay. It's maybe a little bit like the colors like are a little bit too much. So you like, here's the thing. Let's take a look at the Gundam here. And you have a little bit of corruption. So something else, a different organism, and it's green. It absolutely pops out, right? You see there would be corruption, especially around his face, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a look at this one. I'm not super sure. The reason is because we still have this bluish greenish wings here who kind of, you know, if you would have made the wings gray, I would immediately see the corruption much quicker. That's how you would manipulate me into believing like this is some different color. It doesn't fit to the whole color scheme of, let's say, that Gundam. I might look at it with, you know, I mean, it like it would demand quite some attention from me. So that's it. I mean, how did you do some mirroring? Yeah, I mean, it looks fun. Really like the loose sketch and this one right here. If you can actually sketch like that, I would just make 10 different more, and choose a color palette that works. I suggest in the concept art stage, don't even start rendering it. It's much more like, think about it like graphic design. Push a couple of values around or colors. Like let's just analyze this guy quick. Tell you what I mean by that. And you need to be smart. So you have like, imagine you have a bottle of paint. And you should not, in every design, and this is some really good advice, took some time to learn, you should not use the same amount of white, like same amount of color, like 50% white, 50% black and red.
Okay.
No, you should have a balance, like a little bit of a flow. And let's see how much black we have here. I think we have that much black. And how much blue do we have here? That much, a little bit more red, right? Yes, and then we have a little bit of accent of gold. Like a little golden line here. That. And a little bit more black, I think. Now you can place it wherever we want on the canvas or on the picture. Now this is a design that works. What would not work if you would give me same amount of everything? That's boring.
Yeah.
You see how like this is more interesting on the left, while the right is just looks absolutely done by a machine. Like it's looks too constructed, but looks like here's a little bit of code. There's a composition. And this rule I would apply to every character design. It will boost your colors, and don't think about rendering. This here is much more important. And if you want to do some homework, go analyze Mario, Zelda, lots of Nintendo games. See and learn from it, and you'll be surprised by how many color schemes and compositions you find, how interesting it is. And the more you do that, I mean, the more respect you have to the artists who created like Mega Man, Mario, and whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, hopefully this one helps you. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't seem like we've had any, but I hope that helped you out, Theo. I'm sure you'll crack it. Whatever what you were struggling with, you'll get it. So this next
Yeah.
one is Valerie's. So if you're here, Valerie, then hello. They said, "Hi, I'm working on a personal character concept piece. I'd like to receive comments about how to make a character more interesting and appealing in terms of design. What I can do to make this guy and future characters better. Uh, I'm attaching a work in progress image, which we have here, where you can see character exploration ideas and the final sketch, which I want to finalize." Um, what else would we? Yeah, so they're working as an artist in a mobile game company, but in the near future they want to work as a character concept artist. So they'd be very
Hmm.
grateful for any advice.
Okay, sure thing. Um, it would be good to know, like for character designs, always give me the backstory quick. Is it a
Mm,
hero, anti-hero? Is it a
yeah.
hero in the making? Where in life or on his journey? Where in on his journey is that character?
So they actually said the character is supposed to be a guarding magician of an autumn forest who used to be an elf. So it's just a
He
little
used to be an
sentence.
elf,
Yeah.
and he's guarding the forest.
Mm,
Good, that helps. Hmm. So he used to be an elf,
mm,
but he's not an elf anymore. And
yes.
he did something really bad. He messed up with his elves, and he hated himself, and he ran into the woods who give him insight and comfort, and he cut off his elven ears and made a necklace out of it to never forget about what he did. I mean, for example, I mean this absolutely I'm exaggerating, but there's a point like if like he was an elf, but he's not anymore. However, maybe he has his long hair now, trying to cover his ears or something like that. But I'm missing a little bit of drama, like
Mm,
this the storytelling in here. There, like I wouldn't knew that he was an elf. Maybe it's just the stylization, or maybe it's just uh, the archetype of an elf. When I look like Lord of the Rings,
yeah.
everybody playing elves, they have like really those chiseled faces and thin, long noses, and maybe like this like maybe play with the face a little bit more. Face is really important, and that's the first thing. Like, really, does it sell? Does it tell the story? And then he's supposed to be a druid, like guardian of the forest.
Yeah.
Um, okay, so I don't see much of that here. I mean, I don't see anything. I mean, you could give him a couple of roots, couple of leaves, maybe
Mm,
even if you go towards Diablo, like even a couple of bones here and there, hanging around, because it's
yeah.
also part of the forest. Everything that lives in the forest dies in the forest, and new trees emerge. I mean, it's circle of life, that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
And it needs, like, the symbols being established don't have any meaning. It's just nothing, no logo yet. Like this, like what I meant with the robot
Yeah.
Tokugawa Industries. Like, give it a brand. Like, think about the story more, and how to what can you do to sell this,
Hmm.
um design wise.
I think they've got those sort of autumnal colors going as well at the minute as well, which I think could be
What kind
quite
of
nice.
colors?
Like autumn, that kind of autumn color scheme, because
I see.
they said it's a guardian of an autumn forest, which I think is very or it's like oranges and browns and stuff like that. So it's kind of that's in there.
Yeah, that works.
Mm.
Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. I think Photoshop crashed. Wow.
Oh no.
That shouldn't happen. But I mean, actually, holy crap! Why is it? Why no?
Do you want to restart it?
Yeah, I guess I have to.
Yeah. I'll hide your screen for a second, and then you can restart it.
All right. Good.
I will just take a look at the chat. They said, yeah, they were thinking that the hair could hide the ears as well as a hat. Okay, so they're kind of like, yeah, they're trying to hide that they're an elf by covering it with their hair, growing out their hair, wearing a hat. Makes sense. Zorian says hashtag Clip Studio. I bet Clip Studio has its fair share of crashes as well.
Right, I'm back.
There we go.
Cool. Yeah, the colors look a little bit washed.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see a clear focal point. Like neither the shapes nor does the color guide me to where I need to look. Actually, yeah, not even the FX of his of the leaves swirling around is looking like everything looks the same. I would figure that out first.
Mm.
Here's an example. I mean, I don't know if you want to go into that route, but these colors look more flashy. And I mean, here, if you want to go into that game art, that's League of Legends Overwatch, you should do these kind of colors.
Mm-hmm.
They work from far away. You don't have to even like, don't need to render. And even like, I don't know who that is, but there's a symbol that draws some attention here, which I find interesting. And what I've been just teaching before, like you have that amount of purple, this amount of orange, and bunch of black here and there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Makes it look interesting, and then a little bit of the skin color with a little bit of black, and so far and so on. And it's nicely established here.
Yeah.
So there's some composition with color. Right. So one thing I can mention and help out with is what I don't like. I don't feel like there has been research enough done on, like, even if it's cartoony, like, do you want to go super realistic or cartoony, but like I don't see no buckles.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how stuff functions. It doesn't really like make sense yet. And then this, when I see this kind of stuff in artwork, I'm a little bit allergic to that. Maybe it's personal because this always reminds me of Konoha, and I get Naruto vibes. And the soundtrack comes in because it looks, you know, those ninja gear.
Right.
That's just not. I mean, he's like, if he's an elf, maybe you could put in a couple of runes or a little bit of gold. I mean, he was an elf, right? So forget about that. But then, yeah, like bones or leaves or plants or even like maybe a little bit of fur. How about this? Like add some belts, get rid of that. Shape language. There's lots of stuff going on. So, for example, if you have spiky, like, are these leaves or feathers? Maybe you try. If you have
Yeah.
a certain shape that appears somewhere, make it reappear, please, to keep the whole design consistent. So I'm just trying to get in a couple of sharp spikes here and there. Okay, this looks more consistent. We could even put some feathers here and there. Just a head. Get rid of the Konoha spikes. And he looks like he has a shirt from really tight spandex shirt. I think this is not fleshed out yet enough. I can't clearly see what kind of t-shirt he
Yeah.
has, but I mean, usually like back in the day, there were no muscle shirts.
Yeah.
You know, like tight, like skin tight shirts or jeans weren't there. Now here it is. So I mean, like you're kind of breaking the fourth wall or the realism, but I don't know like where it needs to be. If you want to do character designs for a like manga or whatever game, if you want to go the JoJo Bizarre Adventure route, then it's fine. It looks cool.
Mm.
It's right, but I'm doubting this if it needs to be more realistic. But yeah, but like it depends on the story. Um, Yeah, and if you have certain patterns, it would be nice if they reappear. Like if you have some orange here, maybe have the patterns or logos reappear here and there a little bit. Put a little bit more, color variation here and there. Have the purple, like right. The only focal point is here because of the purple. That's the only color that looks like the accent and stands out, but it's only on his belly. So I'm more like looking at his belly right now. But yeah, overall, this looks like fun, but I would spend more time on the research. And there you have a couple of bags. Okay, that's cool. So if it's more like a JoJo thing, I think this might be cool. I'd go for this one. Also number it or put some letters in there. So I would choose option B. Looks kind of cool, except of this parts here. I would fix it, make it a little bit more baggy. But yeah, hopefully I was able to help here. If you have any questions, let me know.
Yeah, there was one question actually that was, do you have recommendations for any kind of exercises to help with character design? They say character design creativity. Um, I struggle with this even with a lot of references, but I really want to improve it.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Character design. Observe your really, I mean, actually, like if you want to go deep and really be a really successful character designer, you need to know the archetypes. And then you need to go deep into the rabbit hole of psychology. You need to read certain books, like maybe a hero's journey would be a good starting point. Write that down. Hero's journey. It's like how lots of the Hollywood or Disney movies have been. But there's a hero. He has a journey. He needs to kill his father at some point. That all that kind of stuff. But you need to know that. Then like they're the tricksters, the anti-heroes, the anything. You can just Google it. Maybe if I have a link somewhere. This is really important because you need to know what kind of or like a hero like Luke Skywalker. At the beginning of his journey, he was a farm boy.
Yeah.
He was a damn farm boy taking care of some cows in some desert up in the galaxy, and then in the end, man, he had like the eyes of a troubled soldier from war. He lost one hand. He kissed his sister. God damn, man, this guy suffered, and he looked like it. And there's every part of the story defines the visuals of a character. So the more like go deep there. Right. That's one practice, knowledge. Second thing is being a good character designer. I for myself really like you need to know what the newest trends are. I think you really need to know what Christian Dior like spring Christian Dior. What kind of shapes are they coming up with? Do you know that, or what's cool in H&M right now? I've
Yeah.
seen they have some anime motifs now. It's getting more mainstream. Hey, how cool is that? But you need to know that you design a new hero, like a 14, 15-year-old dude that likes to inline skate or skateboard, and he has certain fashion. Yeah, you need to check out um, the newest fashion out there. Don't come up with stereotypes. Like, one thing I hate is when people do give them goggles, man. Goggles, like the pilot goggles. I hate it, man. Like, what the hell? What are you trying to copy? Like some kind of heroes from the 90s. That time's over, man. Nobody is flying in some kind of World War II airplane with those World War II goggles, but being on a skateboard. What the heck? Don't do that. I mean, and this comes only because you look at more like art and are not getting inspired by the stuff that's happening out there right now,
Yeah.
the newest trends. That's the second thing. And the third one is for character designs. Yeah, once you know the first and the second, you can put your own twist into it and be yourself, have fun, and reference. Always find reference and play with proportions, body types, and yeah, like, kick out different versions here and there. Yeah, that would be my advice. Hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Sorry, Leo just put in the chat, character design tip: make your character kiss their sister. So
Yeah, man, it happens. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, this stuff will follow him, and it shocked the people who were watching it. But
Yeah.
yeah, it made the story a little bit real because, like, yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, and I I think it's really interesting, if you have that hero's journey plotted out and you can look at your character and say, okay, I know that they're at this point in their journey, they've been through all of this crap before, like it can really help you inform how they look and what they wear and how ragged they are, how bruised they are, stuff like that. So
Yeah.
it's really nice. Yeah, and they've said, okay, I understand. Thank you for your detailed comments and for replying to my question. But
Sure
you are
thing.
you
Was
are
fun.
welcome. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that is all we're going to have time for today. So we'll call it there. But thank you so much, everybody, for your amazing submissions. I think this has been a really interesting critique session. Actually, a lot has been brought up, and it was cool to get some knowledge out of your head, Alex.
Yeah.
So
Happy to help anytime.
yeah, well, once again, if you didn't get your work looked at this time, then don't worry, we will be doing this again at some point in the future, hopefully fairly soon. But I will, as always, put a notification in the Discord letting you know when submissions are open. So keep your eyes peeled, and feel free to throw your work in there, and we'll take a look. We are having a stream tomorrow. Is International Women's Day tomorrow, so we have gathered together some women of Moon Colony to come and do a Q&A for you about what it's been like for them working in this industry and how they got where they are today and all that jazz. If you have any questions for them, there's a channel open in the Discord for that as well, so you can feel free to put any questions in there, and we'll get around to them tomorrow. But thank you for your time today.
He didn't kiss his sister, right?
No.
He almost kissed his sister.
Well,
that was already evil enough.
I feel like
now I need to look it up, man.
I feel like he did.
Confused.
I feel like he totally did.
Did he? Right?
Yeah, I think it was after he got his hand replaced.
We wish he did.
It was after he got his hand replaced.
Now we need to figure it out.
Okay. But yeah, thank you guys. Thank you, Alex, for your time today.
Sure.
And we will see you guys tomorrow. So goodbye. Have a good day.
Okay. Bye.